All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the third and potentially final entry in this Ranking Green Day songs series. Once again, thank you to Canadian Stud Muffin for showing me this Pub Meeple website where you get to put in a whole list of songs or anything you want to rank, really. It gives you a whole smorgasbord of different categories to choose from and just ranking things among themselves. And we left off, excuse me about that. We left off roughly more than halfway through. Left it on this choice prosthetic head versus Last Night on Earth. And, yeah, let's go ahead and run through this shit. I'm having a great day, by the way, and I hope you're all having a great day as well. Um, I'm going to try to focus on rambling a little bit because I feel like me just going, oh, this or that. Like, that's not good commentary, is it? I don't know about that. I just know that I'm having a good time doing this, and I'm hoping you're having a good time watching this, and I'm hoping that my picks aren't too dastardly. Um, Take back over Peacemaker. East Jesus Nowhere. I kind of regret that. Hold on, I got an undo. I'll do my one undo, and we'll do Peacemaker. So, at risk of dating this video, I am recording it on June 24th. They finally announced the sales point, this price point, excuse me, for the new Grand Theft Auto game, GTA 6. And I gotta say, $70, $80 is about to be expected. I was kind of thinking that they were going to go full hog, make it 100 by default. Now, what's really getting my piss into a nuclear boil is that it's $80 for just a fucking case. Because the games, they're only being printed with codes. So if you're buying a game physically, it's not going to be sold to you physically. You have to put in a code in order to actually play the game. Now, I feel like if you know me, you know that it's just absolutely despicable behavior in my book. Rockstar makes absolutely bunko bucks, especially with GTA Online. And this game's been hyped for over a decade, like well over a decade, and you're going to sit there and tell me you can't put in the little extra effort to press a fucking disc or put it onto a fucking cartridge for like Switch 2 and whatnot. Like, something about that doesn't add up. I really hate that this is just like the norm for video games now. And I know that there are places and people that are trying to fight against that, and I'm so thankful for these kind of people. But it it's not enough. It's just not enough. And I'm I'm getting tired of it. I'm already kind of tapping out of modern gaming as it is. And it's just disheartening. It's like Rockstar knows that people have been waiting for way too long for this game, and I feel like you're actively limiting the player base by doing this kind of shit. It's already more expensive than a video game needs to be, and now you're not even getting the game that you buy. Like, I feel like gaming preservation is basically just a null point in the brains of these developers, and it boggles my mind. You'd think that it would be optimal to make sure that these games are available to as many people as possible, and that the entry point is at a reasonable point. Like, why would you not have the disc? Why would you not want to maintain that legacy? Because it's not always going to be available online or digitally. Like some people, they might not have internet, or they are in a place where the internet's not exactly the greatest, or God forbid anything were to happen to the online stores where they can't redeem this code. It's practically useless. It's an $80 paperweight. Over $80 if you get the Ultimate Edition, over $100 for that. Although, to be fair, over $100 for GTA 6 makes way more sense to me than $150 for WWE 2K26. That's absolutely dog shit. I could go on a rant about that particular game, but I'm focusing on GTA now. I gotta focus on at least one thing. I'll never understand. I'll never understand how a company that can have all this money in the world, basically all the money in the world, and they're just pulling stunts like this. And the worst part is, you know it's going to be successful. You already know goddamn well that GTA 6 is going to be making disgusting banco bucks. And other companies are going to see that and follow suit. And now we're going to have to live in a future. I might be making assumptions here. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend that I'm some kind of insider and I know everything that's going on. But you know that companies are just going to be looking at this and looking at this inevitable success story and following suit. And now we have to deal with a future where you spend 80 something dollars for a game and you don't even get the fucking game. Like, I'm sorry, but the download codes are absolutely pointless. They've been pointless ever since they started making them a goddamn thing. Like, it's it's honestly, it's frustrating. It's genuinely frustrating to me. Like ever since like back in the PS3 360 era, when they had like those little slips that came with the games for online. Like you had to pay extra to play these specific games online on top of paying for the online service. Like I'm so glad that that trend's done and dusted. When can this trend be done and dusted though? Cuz this is just beyond ridiculous. Now, I know you didn't come to a Green Day video to hear me complain about video games, but that's just what's been on my mind today. Like I'm glad that the GTA fanboys they're getting their meat, they're getting their meals. I'm glad for them, happy for them, but also it's just like I just I just hope that the gamers are able to set a precedent because it's this shit just doesn't make any sense to me. I have seen a couple online vendors say that they're not going to be stocking the game. And honestly, kudos to them for doing that. It's just a matter of how long are they going to maintain that facade? Because you know damn well they're missing out on so much money by pulling a stunt like that, and to the point where it actively be a detriment to them to not have that shit like locked, stocked, and ready to go. I mean, if they keep it up, if they hold on to it, more power to them. Like set a precedent, show these companies like you mean business. Like it's frustrating to get constantly fucked sideways, raw and unlubed by these people that it's like I thought the people that make these games are also gamers themselves. Like I don't understand how you can see these scummy practices and go, "No, let's try to one up on that." Like we're literally at the point now where I wouldn't be surprised if they're just going to sell you a case as is. Like how retro gaming is on eBay. It's like, "Oh yeah, we're going to sell you the case only for your Smash Brothers Melee $60, and it doesn't even come with the inserts, by the way. I hope you have a great day. Like, that's a whole nother topic. Similar topic, but a whole nother topic. And I mean, I'm more of a music guy. Music, that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, there's scummy practices going on in music, but at the very least, like, the point of entry is so shallow that it's basically like impossible not to get your socks wet at some point somehow. Like, say what you will about Spotify, but that's available for ease, and there are things that you can download to bypass the nonsense for with ads and podcasts and shit. Like, hopefully I'm not spoiling anything for anyone. Don't go ahead and call the police on me. But I feel like that's common knowledge or common enough knowledge. Like, we've all been on the internet long enough to know that there are ways to bypass this kind of shit. I kind of regret that choice of doing blood, sex, and booze. But like CDs are dirt cheap. You go to flea markets or like like I almost said pawn shops, I guess. Like thrift stores, all them places. Like you can find them for dirt cheap as long as you live in a good area. And even still, like go on Discogs and you can find vendors selling you CDs for relatively cheap. You may more or less just have to pay for the shipping. It's no, I can't stand Dominated Love Slave. Like I will pick the shitty Trey songs. Hopefully, any of this is making sense because I am kind of just shooting from the hip here. Usually, if I try to do a little rant or something, I try to have like a guideline to go by. But I feel strongly enough about these topics that I feel like I can make water out of wine, scratch that, reverse it, make wine out of water, or maybe I can make water out of wine. We've got the tools. It's the 21st century. But I mean, aside from all that, it's been a good day today. I'd have to say it's a good day. Got a lot of interesting stuff on the horizon, at least in terms of music and sometimes gaming, but mainly music. I am a music guy at heart. As much as I do enjoy me some games, music guy at heart. And yeah, today is June 24th, which means it is the 29th anniversary of, I believe, 29th anniversary of The Mollusk by Ween. And I gotta say, um, if you haven't heard The Mollusk by Ween, you are definitely sleeping on some fantastic, fantastic, fantastic music. Like, I can kind of understand not being a Ween guy. They are a bit difficult to get into sometimes, especially if you go with their more browner stuff. But the mollusk is just, I feel like that's like the entry point for anyone wanting to get into the band. It's just like a perfect balance of what they would end up doing on stuff like White Pepper and Quebec, and the browner side, like with the pod and Pure Guava, especially. Um, yeah, I, I feel like I'm circling the drain with the conversation. I feel like most anyone that's watching this is already well familiar with that album. But if not, I recommend you check that out, and I recommend you check Ween out because they are honestly a fantastic band. And I mean, we might never get another album from them, but I like the legacy they've left behind is honestly just so perfect to that I'm more than okay if we never get another album out of them. Like there's some bands that know when to they know when to say enough's enough and go out on top. And I mean, as far as I'm aware, they're still performing, or I think they went on hiatus again, but they were performing pretty recently. And I mean, more power to them. They're still trucking along. They've been making music since the '80s, man. Like in some capacity, they've been making music since the '80s. And Quebec, fantastic album. White Pepper, fantastic album. La Cucaracha, I'm a bit of a defender of La Cucaracha. I can understand why fans are not the biggest fans of that one, but I think there's some merit in there. I think that there's some nice, warm qualities to it. It's the band just trying to be a little bit silly with it again after a few albums that are a lot more on the serious side. Like Quebec is basically divorced the album, and it ends on just an absolutely dour note. Like the last few songs on that album are absolutely just miserable. Not miserable in a bad way, but miserable in like a sad way. Like a holy shit, I'm gonna go contemplate how I feel about life for a good hour or so after listening to the album. Oh, no, 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 no. Castaway over Church, but both are top tier. But yeah, actually, I was listening to the Mollusk while walking to work today, and I gotta say, album still holds up. It still holds up. I am so thankful that that album exists because it really does feel like an album made to celebrate the sea in all of its different kinds of quirks and concepts. Like like a very nautical sounding album, and it's very psychedelic, and sometimes there's like little flecks of like the punk ethos from earlier on, and it just hits, man. Like you go into it, you don't know what to expect. The very first song, it's a cover of a Showtime tune, and like the vocals are like, oh, like weird effects going on in the vocals, but I honestly that might be the best introduction on any of their albums, except you fucked up on God, Weed, and Satan. Like that one will always be the top tier and top tier intro to any of their albums. But in the show tonight, I'm dancing in the show tonight. Very close second, very close. And then it launches in, man. It just launches in. Oh, both of these picks are awful, dude. Holy shit. Awful picks. Awful picks. Can I just skip both, please? I guess Rat does cheese. But yeah, I gotta say, even the down parts on Mollusk, like the weaker, admittedly weaker parts, because I love Ween, but they don't have a single perfect album to their name, and I feel that way about pretty much every band that I love. Is that there's not a single one of them that just has every single song like 5 out of 5. Like I can't think of a single album that does that, even with the bands and artists that I adore. But even the lowest parts on the Mollusk are still they're pretty highlight. They're pretty highlight shit. Like I'm sorry, but pink eye on my leg. Like it's a little silly, yeah, especially coming after Cold Blows the Wind, but I think that's the point. It's supposed to be like a moment of light-hearted silliness, and it's a neat little instrumental, simple little thing, kind of plods along, neat, cute little warbly synth. Like you need moments like that on the album, which is kind of why I like um Quebec, because they're like that one's got a lot of heavy shit on there, but then there are moments that are like, the fuck jam, which I can't imagine that's anyone's favorite Ween song, but it's an essential song on that album as nothing as it is. Like I feel like not having that brief moment of reprieve, excuse me, before the last stretch of the album, and especially just coming after a pretty dour, downtrodden part of the album as well. Like people don't understand the ebbs and flows that an album has to take if it wants to take you on a journey. You can't just be like, okay, we're putting all the energetic stuff at first and then we're going downhill. It's like if you have an eclectic mix of music and you want it to represent the unit as a whole, Namco Legendary Mountains is now available on Steam, ladies and gentlemen. Like you want it to conduce as the whole, then you got to make it ebb and flow. And I'll stand by that till the day I die. It's very important to me. Music's important to me, but if you're making an album flow is even more important to me in certain sects. Like there are times where it's just like, okay, these songs are great, but the album's going nowhere. Like the album's just like, okay, that's cool and fine and dandy. Like an album that I can think of where that's guilty as fuck of doing is As Cruel as School Children by Gym Class Heroes. I enjoy that album, but oh my god, the pacing on that is just, it makes very little sense to me. Like I already am not a big fan of interludes and shit on an album. Like you, like most of the time it just distracts you from whatever's going on the album, and it's just like, hey, look over here, look over here, look over here, we're doing something different, and now we're back into the album. It just feels like most of the time it's a waste of time, and that album suffers for it. Like it's not even a long album. It's not even 50 minutes long, but it feels like it's a 2 hour long album. Like the ebbs and the flows just don't exist. And it sucks. It sucks because there's so much fantastic stuff on that album. But it's like, you mean to tell me that you're going to stuff 7 weeks just smack dab in the middle of the album, and you're going to throw Cupid's Chokehold near the end, which you have to skim around two different uh, skit tracks to get to? Like, it doesn't add up to me. I don't like that. It's just weird to me that you have an album with stuff like um, On My Own Time, Right On. That should have closed the album. That should have closed the album. And you know what? I can understand you have Cupid's Chokehold after that is kind of like the bonus track, kind of like the after credits moment. But that's not what happens because the album continues onward. It's trying to pretend like, no, this is the designated spot for this song. We're continuing onward after this. And it's like, just nerd shit is more or less what I'm getting at. Like, I can ramble on about music and nonsense like that, and I have a feeling most people are like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I just came here to see Green Day rankings. But music is as music does, and I love music. Love listening to it. Enjoy making it from time to time. I don't really like either of these songs, so I'll give it to Sweet Children. Gonna be some downtime in this while I try to think of what to talk about. But I appreciate the vibing, appreciate y'all checking this out, and hopefully it's a little bit interesting. This is a choice that hurts. I'm giving it to Novocaine though. I'm gonna try to think quickly instead of dwelling on these choices because this video is already over 20 minutes long. It looks like, and we're not even 3/4 of the way through. But I am making sure that I'm not just picking random shit. Like this is how I'm feeling about these songs, and this is how against each other. Jackass. Hold on. Red lights flash. Holiday. Fashion victim over Rev Rad slightly. Rev Rad over horseshoes and horseshoes over stuck with me. Suffocate over stuck with me. Eminius stuck with me over homecoming. Homecoming over Sugar Youth. Sugar Youth over Forever Now. Favorite Son over Forever Now. Holy Toledo. Warning. Sometimes they all just fall into line. They just fall into line. Kind of fuck with that a little bit more. I kind of regret putting those acoustic numbers in here. I know I was trying to be conducive. Like, oh, all inclusive, try to put everything on there that I can, but there's really no difference between those. Like, it's not like the demo versions of like Homecoming and shit where it's like actually noticeably different. This hurts. This hurts me tremendously. I'll give it to Waiting though, and then Black Eyeliner. See, it's falling into place, ladies and gentlemen, falling into place. It's moments like this where I'm like, maybe I should have had some music going in the background because this is an awfully large amount. This is an awfully large amount of dead air going on, but unfortunately, I'm not well equipped to ramble like that, especially because I don't really have anything to ramble about that isn't directly on my screen, and I'm kind of struggling to think of anything that I really want to talk about. I know that's not exactly something that you want to admit, but I like to be transparent with you guys. As honest as I can be. honest to the point where it makes sense. Honestly, I'm surprised Ballyhoo. If Ballyhoo's in the top half, I'd be surprised. Like, I don't dislike Ballyhoo, but like, I feel like I've been picking it way more often than I should. Oh, there it is. Now it's gone. I don't want to vote for either of those. I don't want to vote for either of these, though. I'll give it to Ashley. I'll do it all by myself. I have that. No, no, I'm not doing that. This is another one that hurts, but I'm gonna give it to Letterbomb. No Pride, Macy's Day, Low Life, Lazy Bones. This might be the last bit before I call it for the day. Mainly because I'm not really saying or doing a whole lot, not really reacting to what's going on here. I kind of said my piece, and now I'm pissing. Definitely getting a lot more action with the trilogy than I thought I would during this ranking. I feel like most people would have that during the bottom half, but I feel like I'm picking a lot more trilogy stuff than I would have otherwise. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, double fuck you, actually. All right, yeah. It's over 33 minutes now. I'm going to call it here. Thank you for watching. If you've been made it this far, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Even though I'm kind of tapped right now, I'm kind of exhausted. It's been a long day. But thank you once again for watching. Hopefully we finish it up in the next video, and hopefully I got something that I want to say. And yeah, if you're liking these videos, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to comment down below which one you think you're gonna see win in the next video. Give me Novocaine or prosthetic head. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Be sure to check out the links in the description. By the way, I am on social media and all that fun shit. Have a great one. Bye bye.